is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Arizona.
Finally home sweet home in Arizona. We are back in downtown Phoenix after 7 wins on a 10-game road trip through LA, San Diego, and a 4-game sweep in San Francisco. Tonight, the Diamondbacks begin a 10-game homestand with the first of 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. We are set for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. Tonight, the Diamondbacks begin a 10-game homestand with a 5-game winning streak with the first of 3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's a matchup of left-handers tonight. Patrick Corbin on the mound for Arizona and Jonathan Niese for Pittsburgh. But Bob, anytime we talk Pirates and D-backs, that's Goldie and Andrew McCutchen head-to-head.
Yeah, go to the restroom before those guys come to bat because you don't want to miss McCutchen and Goldie head-to-head here at Chase Field this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, we know all about Goldie. He can steal a base when his team needs him to steal a base most. He's an anchor defensively. He's an anchor in the middle of that offense. He does everything at an extremely high level. I still think he got the MVP stolen a couple of years ago in 2013 when he out-homered McCutchen by 15 and had 41 more RBIs. But McCutchen won the National League MVP award in 2013.
And the thing that really galled you about that vote 3 years ago for the NL MVP award is that McCutchen got 28 first-place votes. Goldie got 0.
Yeah, don't get us wrong. McCutchen is a really, really good player, and anybody with a brain in their head would love to have him playing center field, but we like Goldie an awful lot.
And the interesting thing is Goldie's .298 career batting average matches up with McCutchen, who's a .297 career. So in many ways, they are very similar players. As we mentioned, a matchup of left-handers. The former Met John Niese goes for the Pirates, and Patrick Corbin, who's been so good so far, a .275 ERA in 3 starts this year.
Yeah, a couple of lefties. We haven't seen a lefty-lefty matchup in a while. Jonathan Niese has won 9 games the last 2 years for the Mets. Patrick Corbin is really on a nice roll as Shelby Miller struggled early in the season. Zach Greinke struggled a little bit his first couple of starts. Patrick Corbin was the guy that took the ball, went out there, ate up innings, and gave that bullpen a rest.
Well, this should be a lot of fun. 10 games at home, the first of 3 tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Diamondback baseball. More from Chase Field coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Double Jack Burger today, only at Jack in the Box. By T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you get more standard features for less money. on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Lone Butte Casino. Get in on the big wins. By Tire Pro, the best selection of Continental and General brand tires. Visit one of your local Arizona Tire Pros today. And by Gigablast, 100 times more powerful internet from Cox. Bring on tomorrow. We are just moments away from first pitch. Patrick Corbin and the Diamondbacks opening up a weekend series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Roof and panels are open. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Down Phoenix, Arizona. Good to be back home. Roof and panels open. Diamondbacks and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who come in tonight 8-8 on the year. Clint Hurdle now in his 6th season in Pittsburgh, and Bob, his team comes in here leading the majors in batting average, hits, and on-base percentage.
It's a little bit deceiving because they haven't hit a lot with runners in scoring position, but you're absolutely right. These guys can rack up the base hits. Here's how Clint Hurdle will line them up tonight. Jordy Mercer at shortstop. Andrew McCutchen out in center field. Francisco Cervelli will be doing the catching. Starling Marte out in left field. Josh Harrison at second base. What's Rogers' first name?
Jason.
Jason Rogers.
I like to call him J-Man.
Yeah, Sean Rodriguez at third base. Gregory Polanco in right field, and Jonathan Neese on the mound. I knew I should have written down the first name.
Well, he just got called up today. You're fine. Our Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the D-backs is the left-hander Patrick Corbin. A win over the Padres Sunday at Petco Park, his previous time out. 2.75 ERA in 3 starts.
And a real difference between these two lefties tonight. Jonathan Neese is throwing more fastballs and cutters and fewer changeups and curveballs. Patrick Corbin, on the other hand, throwing a lot more changeups this year. It's been a really good weapon for him against the righties.
It is so good to be back home. Here we go. D-backs and Pirates. DJ Rayburn is our plate umpire. And Jordy Mercer, the leadoff man, set to go. Very comfortable night. Clear here in downtown Phoenix. Roof and panels open. Start of a 10-game homestand. And Mercer's in there at 273. 3 extra base hits, all doubles. Jordy Mercer has made 16 starts at shortstop this year. He's reached base safely in 13 of them. single. Let's take a look at our Eye on Defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Yasmani Tomas manning left field once again tonight. Chris Owings patrolling out in center. David Peralta in right field. It'll be Brandon Drury at third base tonight against the left-handed starter. Nick Ahmed at short. Gene Segura at second. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Wellington Castillo behind the plate, and lefty Patrick Corbin on the mound.
Here is Andrew McCutchen. He went hitless in the Pirates' last 2 games at San Diego following a 6-game hitting streak. He's at .230 for the year.
I mentioned this Pirates ball club, as much as they're hitting, they just haven't done much of it with runners in scoring position. As a team, hitting only .229 with runners in scoring position. Andrew McCutchen, the man at the plate, is 1 for 17 this year in those situations.
A perennial playoff contender, but the Pirates just at .500 to start the year. This is the second stop for them on a long 10-game 3-city road trip. They just lost 2 of 3 in San Diego. 3 here this weekend, then they finish up with 4 games at Coors Field next week against the Rockies. Two and one. This guy has always been a D-backs nemesis, Andrew McCutchen. A career .331 hitter against the Diamondbacks. But if you take just the last 3 seasons, he's hit better than .370 versus Arizona. Mercer off first. Here's the 2-1. High in the air along the right field line. Goldie backing up. Segura's there as well, and Goldie runs it down.
Well, we have a moment here. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda key to the ball game tonight. It's been a while for the Diamondbacks. September 25th, 2013. You ask yourself, what's the significance? That's the last time the Diamondbacks were 2 games over 500 at 80 and 78.
Wow. So they come into tonight 9 and 8. A chance to get 2 over 500 the night before A.J. Pollock bobblehead day here at the ballpark. That's tomorrow night. A.J. back in the dugout with his teammates. Here's Francisco Cervelli, off to a great start this season. This guy was a long-time backup catcher with the Yankees, but now he's one of the key bats in this Pirate lineup. Ball 1. Cervelli hitting .340, but with just 3 extra base hits. Two and 0.
What a turnaround for Francisco Cervelli. This is a guy that had 266 at bats back in 2010 for the Yankees. Never had more than 146 at bats in any other season, but had 451 for the Buccos last year. Hit .295. Had a big year for him.
He was brought into Pittsburgh to replace free agent Russell Martin and did a very good job. He's headed for the right field corner, but out of play. Cervelli, parts of 7 seasons with the Yankees, and he made more than 40 starts behind the plate only 1 year. But he has found a home in Pittsburgh. Checks his swing, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Down, 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 as you might expect. As a catcher, Cervelli doesn't exactly burn up the base paths. If Patrick could throw something down there around the knees, get that ground ball, get his team back in that dugout swinging those bats.
Cervelli has really heated up lately for the Pirates. He's hit safely in 5 straight games. 7 hits in his last 5 games. Mercer holds it first. Bouncing ball. Ahmed is short. Segura. The throw pulls him off the bag. Gene Segura. What a tremendous job by the D-back second baseman at turn 2. They erase that leadoff single. Nick Ahmed starts it. The throw off line a little bit. Quick release by Nick. Segura is there to snag it. And we go to the home half of the first at Chase Field. First, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Pirates. It's John Neese, 29-year-old lefty, a career New York Met until he was acquired in a trade last December for second baseman Neil Walker, and so far he is 2-0 in 3 starts with Pittsburgh.
The 2 wins this year push him to 2 games over 500 for his career. He was 61 and 61 as a member of the Mets before this season, but the 2 victories push him over the 500 mark. Opponents only hitting 197 against John Neese this year. As I mentioned earlier, throwing more fastballs and cutters this year, fewer curveballs and changeups. Keep an eye on that.
Gene Segura leading the National League in hits as we begin this series. We'll get it going for the Diamondbacks, wearing the teal alternate home jerseys tonight. First pitch swinging. How big, Bob, is a surprise the way Gene Segura has started this year?
Well, offensively, based on what we saw in spring training, not really much of a surprise. I mean, he has just hit everything hard all over the field, has shown good opposite field pop. The surprise for me is how well he's played second base.
Just saw that a moment ago.
Yeah, I mean, he's made some nice adjustments on tough plays. He's covered a lot of ground out there, and occasionally when Chip Hale puts the shift on, he's moved way out into right field, made some nice plays out there.
This one is headed toward right field, and it drops in front of Polanco. A leadoff single for Gene Segura. So add 1 more to his league-leading hit total.
That's
line up for Chip Hale.
Opposite field power I was talking.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. You timed that nicely.
Here's the rest of the lineup for Chip Hale today. Behind Gene Segura, Brandon Drury getting the start at third base against the left-handed starter. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Yasmani Tomas in left. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. David Peralta in right. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Chris Owings out in center field, and Patrick Corbin on the mound.
Ball 1 to Brandon Drury, and at third base for Jake Lamb tonight. 257 and a home run. There's a strike, 1-1. Brandon started 4 games on the last road trip, had 6 hits. Among them, a double, a triple, and a home run.
An opportunity for Brandon maybe to get 4 or 5 at bats in this ball game. When he's a starter, he's hitting .308 this year with 3 extra base hits. As a substitute off the bench, only 111.
Little play ball here. Harrison, Mercer, and Rogers on the other end. They turn 2. Take a look at our eye on defense for the Pirates, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
First baseman, number 44.
Marte in left, McCutchen in center, Polanco over in right field. Pretty solid defensive outfield for the Pirates. Sean Rodriguez at third, Jordy Mercer at shortstop, Josh Harrison at second. Hey, what's that guy's name again?
Jason Rogers.
Jason Rogers at first.
Do we need to get you a scorecard?
Yeah, I'm running a little tardy today.
Well, you had a rough afternoon.
Yeah. Jason Rogers will be at first. Catchers Francisco Cervelli and John Neese on the mound.
This guy's name, I believe, is Goldschmidt. 237. He's homered 3 times. Fly ball for Polanco. He's got plenty of room in front of the warning track out there on the right. And we are through 1 at Chase Field. Diamondbacks and Pirates, no score.
Welcome back. No scores. We head to the top of the second here at Chase Field. I'm Kate Longworth. Well, this afternoon, Chip Hale told me he's been very impressed with Patrick Corbin, citing the consistency he's brought to the staff so far this season. Now, Patrick, of course, has no medical anything holding him back. However, Chip said when he reaches that 100 pitch count, he can't help but focus in closely because he wants to make sure the velocity and strength is still there.
Starling Marte leads off the second with a rocket right to Chris Owings for the first out in the second. Yeah, as we've talked about all spring, Bob, the training wheels, as it were, supposed to be off this year for Patrick.
Yeah, a couple more bats like that, and he will be able to pitch deep into this ball game. 1 pitch, 1 out here to start the second inning. Pitch efficiency early in the ball game will buy you maybe an extra inning or 2 at the tail end of your outing.
Josh Harrison getting the start at second base tonight for the Pirates, a guy who plays all over the field and plays very well. He's at .302, still without a home run. One and one. This is a game for some fancy footwear, but Harrison might win that contest.
Oh.
A lot going on there. That is down the left field line. A fair ball that's headed for the bullpen wall. Josh Harrison holds that second. That's his third double.
Fourth baseman, number 15, Jason Rogers.
Waited well on that breaking ball, lets it get right in the middle of the hitting zone before snapping that bat through the zone, hooking it down into that left field corner. Josh Harrison's turned himself into a really nice player. I saw him play in the minor leagues as a member of the Chicago Cubs organization, and of course in the minor leagues he was a superstar, but you just didn't know if he was going to get the opportunity and if he was going to be ready for it at the major league level, but has really flourished here in Pittsburgh.
Went to the All-Star game 2 years ago, finished top 10 in the MVP voting that year. Now, Bob, this is Jason Rogers.
I like to call him Jolly Rogers.
And if it sounds a little familiar, it might. He's a former Milwaukee Brewer getting the start at first base tonight. This is, in fact, his Pirates debut. Picked up in a trade last winter and called up from AAA before the game today. Infielder Cole Figueroa was sent down to Indianapolis. Corbin behind 1-0. Rogers had been tearing it up in AAA. He was the last guy cut out of camp, and he wasn't thrilled with it. But he went down there, didn't pout, hit .366. And in 10 games, hit 4 doubles and 3 home runs. And so here he is. His numbers last year with Milwaukee, just under 90 games.
A couple big home run seasons in the minor leagues, and just looking at his build, he doesn't look like the kind of guy that's just going to bump it around the field. He's going to try to hit it hard somewhere. Solid base underneath young Jason Rogers.
6'1", 250. Just turned 28 last month. Patrick Corbin talked about pitch efficiency and trying to work late into the ball game. So far 19 pitches and more balls than strikes for Patrick. Josh Harrison, the runner at second. 1 out. Yes, he went. That's Clint Fagan down there. And the count is full, 3-2.
Aggressive hitters want to swing. That 3-1 count. He ends up chasing a bad ball right there. Could not check his swing. Good for Patrick to come back with another one. Change up down in the dirt, low in the zone. Get him to chase again.
Change up has become a bigger and bigger weapon for him, especially in hitters' counts. This one is bounced by. Oh, Segura's on! What a play! It was by him and rolling into right field, and Gene Segura saved a run.
Wow, what a play. What a play.
Holy cow.
He was shifted up the middle of the field on big Jason Rogers and comes back and sprints to the spot. What a diving catch, just in time to get the out over there at first base. Big play.
Outstanding. So Harrison at third, 2 down now. Sean Rodriguez, the hitter. He's playing third base tonight. 4 hits in 10 at bats this year, including a home run. That ball was by him. That was sensational.
And from where he started, it would have been very easy just to give up on that ball, let it roll through into right field. He hustled all the way over from his position up the middle of the field and took a base hit away, and probably a run with Harrison's speed.
I'm surprised that he plays at such a high energy level. He's been a good hitter. He's been an all-star, in fact, but the energy level with which he plays, I think, got a little undersold. Good example of it right there. High fly ball, left center field, way back and gone. Sean Rodriguez, his second home run, and it's 2-0 Pirates. And that's already the 4th home run given up by Patrick Corbin this year.
Fielder number 25, Gregory Luongo.
Ball out over the plate, mid-thigh. Man, Sean Rodriguez put a charge on that. That's one of the longer home runs we've seen here at Chase Field this year.
So it's 2-zip. Gregory Polanco now, the right fielder. He gives this one a ride. Straightaway center. Owens looking up, and that ball is gone. Back-to-back home runs. 3-0 Pittsburgh. The first this year for Gregory Polanco. And both of those balls were crushed.
Give me a minute, partner. My ears are ringing.
Yeah.
Wow. A couple of balls absolutely mashed. That one on the inside part of the plate. Polanco pulls his hands in just a little bit, but still barreled it up. It's a high off that batter's eye above the 407 mark.
A pair of 2-out home runs have made it 3-0 Pirates, and here's Jonathan Neese, the pitcher. I got 458 feet on the Rodriguez homer, 461 on the Polanco homer. Those are not cheapies,
no,
according to StatCast. One and two. Keep in mind, if this gets out of hand for Patrick Corbin, and that might be certainly pessimistic at this point, but Chip Hale just used his long man yesterday in San Francisco when Tyler Wagner came on in relief of Shelby Miller and gave him 5 innings of 2-hit baseball. So the length has been used up a little bit. Now Randall Delgado has not pitched in a while, so you could get a couple of innings out of Randall, but you don't want to push that too hard. And Neese looks at strike 3, but the Pirates get 3. Back-to-back home runs by Rodriguez and Polanco have made it 3-0 Pittsburgh. Hey fans, don't forget tomorrow, first 20,000 fans who enter Chase Field get the A.J. Pollock bobblehead, courtesy of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM. Also, how about this? It's a bonus, a very limited edition A.J. Pollock t-shirt will be available for purchase at the team shop. Now, there's not many of these, and you have to buy them at the team store, but this is a one-of-a-kind special edition item, a photograph of the catch that inspired the bobblehead. For tickets to tomorrow's game against the Pirates, visit dbacks.com. That's Ruby De La Rosa and Juan Nicasio. There is A.J. Pollock. And the bobblehead is tomorrow night, so get your tickets at dbacks.com. Yasmani Tomas leads off the Arizona second against John Neese. Now it's 3-0 Pittsburgh. Tomas 288. He had 3 homers on the road trip, including one that he just smashed off Johnny Cueto yesterday in San Francisco. Cinca that Cueto said stayed up. This is headed for the right field corner. But Polanco runs it down. He's got great speed out there. Allowed out number 1.
Right into your living room here as Polanco ranges over from his right field position. Great speed, great line. Even into a relatively easy play. Looked like it might be down for extra bases off the bat. Polanco took away that hit.
1 away for Wellington Castillo. 213 and 3 homers. In fact, for Wellington, 3 of his last 4 hits have been home runs. Admitting this week he's still not really feeling comfortable at the plate right now. Says he's not recognizing pitches the way he'd like to. Not worried about it. He'll get it. He says he knows he can hit a little bit, but right now having trouble, he says, picking up the breaking ball.
Yeah, picking up the rotation on the breaking ball. Some of that occasionally can have to do with the ballpark. The lights are good in all the major league parks, but occasionally there's shadows and you can't really pick up the spin on the ball quite as well as you can at other ballparks.
Roof and panels open on a beautiful night here in downtown Phoenix.
No!
What a night for ball game.
Oh,
Just absolutely perfect.
So great to be back home in this park. Everything open up, great weather. Back home off a 7-3 road trip through the NL West. A little tapper, that's going to stay fair. Rodriguez got him. We'll see if the Diamondbacks want to challenge. A very tough play. Nice was on it. Sean Rodriguez pounced in from third.
Right field, number 6.
Nice with the diving effort comes up empty, which is fortunate for the Pirates because Rodriguez right there to bare hand and fire on to Jason Rogers, who picks it out of the dirt in time for the out at first.
Nice play by the third baseman. So 2 down for David Peralta. Peralta, the only left-hand bat in the lineup for Chip Hale tonight against lefty Jonathan Nice. At least among the position players. We won't count Patrick Corbin. And David at 266, still in search of his first home run this year. Interesting thing about that 10-game road trip for the Diamondbacks, they went 7-3. Despite the fact that Peralta, one of their key bats, drove in only 2 runs on the entire road trip. They found a way to get the job done. Now he's already been hit on the arm twice in the last 2 games, so both times against a lefty.
At least this is a different pitcher this time.
Yeah.
Josh Osich both times hit him once, knocked him down another time.
The Giants reliever who actually said after the ball game yesterday didn't blame David for being upset. Like, I get it, I hit him twice, my bad. And David said it's not like me to sort of walk out toward the mound and get into that stuff, but I felt I had to say something. In the air, left field, Marte at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. David Peralta, that's number 1. Diamondbacks on the board. It's 3-1. The freight train cruising home. He goes Oppo off John Nice.
Well, I always love it when a guy hits a home run to the opposite field. I think that says he's staying in there, keeping that left shoulder in there, not trying to pull the ball. Man, it is jumping tonight, boys and girls.
Whew. Yowza, yowza, yowza. Here's Nick Ahmed. Already 3 home runs in the ball game. Can I interest you, Mr. Brenly, in a jumbo jack?
Always.
We're going to keep you well fed on this homestand. That's
what
a goal.
I'm afraid of.
0-1 on Nick. I'm digging these white shoes.
I'm kind of liking them myself. I was never a big fan of the white shoes, but I think with this particular uniform, they look good.
Yeah. Nice clean look. The home alternate teal, the uniform of the day. Nick at 214. He's homered 3 times. Nice off the tip of the glove. Mercer's there at shortstop, and he throws out Ahmed. But the Diamondbacks down 3-0, get 1 back on David Peralta's first home run of the year. Through 2, they trail it 3-1. Two innings and 3 home runs, 2 by the Pirates, 1 by the Diamondbacks. So it's 3-1 Pittsburgh as Patrick Corbin faces Jordy Mercer to lead off the Pirate third. Mercer single his first time up, and there's a strike. 0-1. Rodriguez and Polanco back-to-back homers in the Pittsburgh second, and this might be one more. There it goes, gone. It is flying here at Chase Field tonight. Jordy Mercer, that's his first of the year, the 3rd Pirate home run, and they lead it 4-1. I was about to say Rodriguez and Polanco back-to-back, and now Mercer. So that's 3 Pirate homers in a span of 4 batters against Patrick Corbin.
This was the Mercer home run right here. Elevated right down the middle of the plate for Jordy Mercer. A guy doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but he crushed this one. This was Sean Rodriguez. Middle of the plate fastball. Can't be much more in the middle of the plate than that. Gregor Polanco also took a mid-plate fastball and hit it out of here. Straight away center field.
Andrew McCutchen popped up his first time. So Patrick Corbin is just a little over 2 innings into his 4th start this year, and he's already given up 6 home runs. Here's a high fly ball, left center field. Owens underneath the home run porch, and CO runs it down. He had one more step of real estate, and he needed it. How did that stay in the yard?
It's a little bit too much elevation that time. Thank goodness. Chris Owings does a nice job running underneath the overhang, getting over to the spot and making that play right up against the wall.
Well, this has got to be a big red flag in that Diamondback dugout. They are teeing off on Patrick tonight.
Pittsburgh had 7 home runs total as a team coming into play tonight.
Cervelli hit into a double play to end the first. Pirates leading the major leagues in batting average and hits. Not a whole lot of extra bases, but they have found the power stroke tonight.
Pirates' runs tonight the result of a long ball. Coming into play tonight, they had the 3rd lowest percentage of runs scored via the home run.
Well, they're in a great hitter's park, and Patrick Corbin's going to have to figure out a way to slow this roll. Behind on Cervelli, 3-1. Starling Marte on deck. Hard to shortstop, right to Ahmed. Little trouble for Nick, but he collects it and throws about 2 down. Well, Patrick was just outstanding Sunday at San Diego. Got his first win this year. 105 pitches. Felt great all night, he said, right afterward. And nothing but thumbs up. Everybody encouraged with what they've seen from Patrick Corbin, certainly following that start.
Given the condition of the bullpen, he's going to be given every opportunity to right the ship, as you see what he did Sunday against the Pirates. As you mentioned, lacking a long man down there today outside of Randall Delgado. They may just roll with Patrick Corbin here and hope he can find it quickly.
I saw that pitch total 105. Patrick hadn't thrown that many pitches in a ball game since late in 2013. Marte bidding for another one here. Foul.
Broke his bat. Game hitting streak against the Diamondbacks. I think he's only played 19 games against the Diamondbacks, so he's had a hit in every game.
One and two.
Pirates last week wore their throwback unis of the 1979 We Are Family Buccos. Swinging the bats tonight like that team.
There's the old Pirate look, sort of. Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, the Cobra, Omar Moreno, Bill Robinson on that team, Phil Garner.
My boy Don Robinson.
Yeah.
He was just a pup at that time. He was really young. Here's the old
Jim Bibby was on that staff, and Bert Blyleven. And the Candyman, John Candelaria. Pirates players.
There it is.
When they were in Petco Park to start out this road trip, got to wear the We Are Family throwbacks. They loved them. All they're missing are Willie Stargell stars that he used to hand out and put on those big hats. 3-2 pitch. High in the air. Left field. Yasmani Tomas at the wall. And it's off the wall. It stays in the yard for Marte, who's at second. And now he's going to head for third as Tomas is slow to pick it up.
Second baseman, Josh Harrison.
Tomas gets caught in that notch out there. You see he has to run kind of around the corner. Can't get back there quickly enough against the Gila River sign to make the play, and then fans on it right here. I believe that'll be ruled a double and an error. But Marte had all but stopped at second base until he saw Tomas having problems out there.
Now 6 hits for the Pirates. Josh Harrison, who doubled and scored back in the second. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks. Going to give Patrick Corbin as many opportunities as they can to figure this out. About to throw his 50th pitch of the ball game here. Through 2 2/3. Base hit to center. Marte scores, and it's 5-1 Pittsburgh.
First baseman Jason Rogers.
Brings up the first baseman, Jason Rogers. Harrison 2 for 2.
Keep an eye on Josh Harrison over there, as well as Starling Marte, the two primary base stealers for this team. Harrison 4 for 4. Marte's 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts.
Marte leading the league with those 5 steals. This is headed toward the gap in deep left center. Owens is over there again. CO really covering some ground out there. But the Pirates, who got 3 in the second, get 2 more in the third, and they lead at 5-1.
Join the D-back for Throwback Thursday, presented by Chase. This Thursday, April 28th, before a game against the Cardinals, fans can pick up a commemorative poster celebrating the 2001 World Series championship team. For more information on Throwback Thursday, visit dbacks.com/throwback. And hopefully none of that business. That particular game against the Pirates, actually, we won that one in walk-off fashion. Matt Williams got a base hit against his fellow coach, Mike Fetters.
Chris Owings.
And don't think Matty hasn't reminded Fed about that a few times.
CO 273. The bat has started to heat up lately. Sends this out to Polanco in right. Backing up at the track, and he runs it down just shy of the wall for the first out here in the third.
Well, anecdotally, over the years, pitchers have always felt that this ballpark plays much more as an offensive ballpark with the roof and panels open. And I don't know if I have ever seen the ball carry quite the way it is tonight. Even the outs are chasing outfielders to the warning track. Told the story before. One of my pitchers on the staff back in 01 gave up what he felt was a cheap home run with the roof and panels open and insisted that we close the roof.
Off the glove of Harrison at second, and Corbin's aboard.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. Now, the problem with that particular game when the pitcher asked us to close the roof was it was a beautiful night. It was a lot like this, you know, wonderful temperatures, comfortable for the fans. And we had to come up with a cockamamie story to tell the home plate umpire, Dale Scott, to make him allow us to shut the roof.
And he bought it.
Yeah, you know, Dale, there's a storm blowing in, and it's not going to rain much, but the winds are going to be high, and we can't move the roof and panels if the winds are higher than 15 miles an hour. So if we're going to close it, we should close it right now, because once the winds come in here, we won't be able to close it. All right.
That drops in front of Marte. Diamondbacks have something going now. Back-to-back one-out singles.
Third baseman, Brandon Drury.
Gene Segura takes 2 vitamins a day because he doesn't ever just get 1 hit in a ball game. If he gets 1, he's going to get 2. First one, a little floater into right field. This time a line drive into left. Increases his lead among National League batters. 25 base hits on the season.
Brandon Drury hit into a double play back in the first. Out of play. Patrick Corbin, the runner at second. Gene Segura at first. 0-2 is driven into left center field. Matt Williams will wave Corbin home. Segura heads for third, and it's 5-2. The RBI for Brandon Drury.
Muscles one out there to left center field. Good jump out there at second base by Patrick Corbin. He'll score easily. Segura motors into third base. Boy, this is going to be one of those nights. Whoever gets the last at bat has the best chance to win this game.
Well, Diamondbacks here have a good chance to get right back in it. A run in. They're on the corners. 1 down for Goldie, who flied out to right his first time up. Paul had RBIs in his first 2 at-bats yesterday at San Francisco as the D-backs completed their first ever 4-game sweep at AT&T Park. Had a double in the first inning for an RBI. And a 2-out single in the third. Drove in the first 2 D-backs runs in what turned out to be a 6-2 win. 2-1.
There's an old saying in this game, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And we caught the Giants at a good time, really struggling offensively. That breaking ball dips down near the bottom of the strike zone for a called strike 1.
Goldie's not swinging at that on 2-0. Swings at that one though, and it's in the seats. 2-2. Tomas on deck. Got him. 2 down.
Slider down underneath. Starts it on the inside part of the plate. Looks like a very hittable pitch. That may have been the cut fastball. I stand corrected. The same kind of action as a slider, but a lot more velocity.
2 on and 2 out for Tomas, who's riding a 7-game hit streak. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Yasmani, very productive bat the last 10 games. Hit .324 on the road trip with 3 home runs. One and two.
We'd sure like to cash in Segura from third at least in this inning. Looked like the Diamondbacks had an opportunity to put a big crooked number on the board.
Short way for the force on Drury, and that ends the inning. But the Diamondbacks get 1 back. Through 3, they trail it 5-2. Fourth inning, Diamondbacks trail it 5-2. John Rodriguez, Gregory Polanco, and Jonathan Nice lower third of the Pirate order.
Don't be fooled. Rodriguez, the 7-hitter in this Pirates lineup. Polanco, the 8-hitter, went back to back first time through the lineup. Both of them tape measure blasts.
Rodriguez's homer is second of the year. There's the strike, 0-1. Pirates are without their Korean infielder Jung Ho Gong, who's still recovering from surgery on his left knee. He is currently on a rehab assignment in AAA. Split his time last year between third base and shortstop, so it's Rodriguez in there at third tonight against the lefty Corbin. David Freese on the bench.
Yeah, for a lot of baseball fans, the last Sean Rodriguez sighting before tonight was when he was beaten up on the water cooler.
That was not his best moment. Chris Owings in center field. Yo's been busy out there tonight.
Real busy.
Brings up Gregory Polanco. Polanco had a pair of doubles in their win at San Diego yesterday. He homered his first time up tonight. And they're at .315 on the year. Polanco's a long guy out there, 6'5", long arms and limbs. They've tried to shorten that swing up a bit.
Well, he can be vulnerable inside to a good fastball. He will chase breaking balls out of the zone, but you don't want to make a mistake on him down and out over the plate. Danger zone right there.
2-2.
Uses all that height for leverage. Occasionally that swing can get a little bit long and loopy.
Are long guys like this as challenged as we sometimes make it out to be?
Yeah, they can be. You know, I think back to Michael Jordan all the time trying to play baseball. And Walt Hriniak was the hitting coach with the White Sox at the time. And Walt Hriniak was all about that Charlie Lau down and through, one hand off the bat thing. And for a guy like Michael Jordan, it just didn't translate well to his body frame. I think Dave Winfield or somebody else who was tall and learned how to use their height to their advantage, I think Michael Jordan had a chance to be a good hitter. But yeah, to answer your question, it can be problematic. Long arms, long legs, big strike zone for a tall guy. And occasionally you want to use every bit of that height and wingspan, and that swing can get really long.
Not long enough to go down and get that one, though, and Patrick has his second strikeout. Here's the pitcher, Jonathan Neese. Struck out looking his first time up. It's 0-1.
Keep going back to Dusty Baker when you ask me questions about hitting. Dusty was such a great hitting coach for so many years with the Giants, and I was a coach on the staff and listened attentively to everything Dusty said. He always preferred guys 6 foot or 6'1". Right about there was the ideal height for a hitter, he said. Any taller than that, your swing gets too long.
Bounce to Ahmed at shortstop, and it's a 1-2-3-4. Patrick Corbin settling in. He's retired 4 in a row, but he trails it 5-2. As we start the home half of the fourth, hey fans, if you or someone you know would love to be part of the Diamondback broadcast, and they're between the ages of 10 and 16, come out Sunday to Chase Field. It's the Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster audition. To show up at the Sandlot near Baxter's Den from 11:30 to 1, and you could end up on TV. Castillo, Peralta, Ahmed 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona fourth against lefty Jonathan Niese. Willie grounded out his first time up. Jumps on the first one, going back left field. Marte at the wall, and it's gone. That one carried out of here. Wellington Castillo, 4 of his last 5 hits have been home runs, and it's 5-3.
Give me a bat. What a night here at the ballpark. Man, oh man. Wellington Castillo hit that ball. It might have scraped the roof if the roof was closed. And it carried out of here. Big, loopy, breaking ball that just hangs there for him. Drops to a back knee. Man, this is the kind of night you forget everything the hitting coach ever told you and just swing straight up. Get that ball in the air. Take your chances.
5 home runs in the game so far. 3 by the Pirates, 2 by the Diamondbacks. And here's the guy that has the other D-back home run. It's David Peralta, who went opposite field his first time up for his first of the year. Bidding for another one here. It backs up Marte, but he's got room. He gave that a ride. 1 down in the fourth.
Felt like that ball might have got in on him just a little bit off the sweet spot of the bat, but still gave it a ride all the way out there to the wall in left field. Stay right there. Good approach. Both of his at-bats in this ballgame, driving it out there to left field.
Nick Ahmed grounded out back in the second. Nick had a 5-game hitting streak on the last road trip, but since then he's gone 0 for 17. Ball 1. He's now at 50 pitches, 33 strikes. Niese, when he's pitching well, will keep it on the ground. He's got some pretty good sink there. He'll keep it down in the zone. He's got some life and some sink to it. Keep you honest with the other stuff. But as we've seen, he can occasionally get into trouble with the long ball. He had given up 3 homers in 3 starts this year, and he's surrendered 2 tonight. And last year, Niese allowed 20 home runs. That put him top 20 in the league. So occasionally that sinker might not sink. Nick looks at strike 3. DJ Rayburn rings him up. Second strikeout for Jonathan Niese.
Rayburn was right earlier on Goldie on a 2-0 pitch down at the bottom of the zone. Not this time. Man, oh man. I mean, his glove nearly hits the ground as he catches that ball.
He's hearing it from Chip Hale in the Diamondback dugout. There's ball 1 to Chris Owings, who flied out in his first at bat. Big cut from CO, and it's 1-1. Chris has had 2 hits in 3 of his last 4 games. 1-2.
Well, that's a nasty pitch. Left-handed cut fastball that starts off the plate away. You give up on it as a right-handed hitter, and that late movement brings it right back to the corner.
Fights it off and shoots it toward the right field corner. That's a fair ball. Seattle's on the run. He's thinking 3 here, and here he goes. Chris Owings, a stand-up triple.
Nice adjustment there. After that fastball away, they tried to come back in, and Chris inside outs that ball right down the right field line, and boy, is it fun to watch him run the bases.
He can really fly when he gets it going. Patrick Corbin looks at a pitch. Ball 1 to Corbin. Chris Owings, 8 hits in his last 20 at bats. He's at third, 2 outs. 1-0 on Corbin. 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, partner, I did predict a home run for one of the 2 left-handed hitting D-backs starters. Either Robbie Ray or Patrick Corbin, and the way the ball's blowing out of here tonight.
It's in there, a base hit. Owings scores, it's 5-4, and Patrick Corbin's got an RBI double. Well, he didn't hit it out, but he hit it hard, BB.
Yes, he did. That'll work. You never know when your rallies are going to start. Sometimes they're at the bottom of the order, and you need that pitcher to make some noise with the bat. Patrick Corbin, second base hit in the ball game. This one drives home a run.
He is 2 for 2, a single, a double. He scored a run. Now he's got an RBI. And the Diamondbacks have the tying run in scoring position with 2 down. Conference time now. Here comes Ray Searage.
During this brief delay, fans, we want to remind you, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com. And I'll remind you once again, since the Diamondbacks won yesterday, it'd be a good time to go on your computer or your tablet or your phone at www.click-papajohns.com. Get a pizza, watch a ball game.
Castillo led off the inning with a home run. Owings and Corbin, 2 out extra base hits have made it 5-4. Here's Segura, who's already 2 for 2, a pair of singles. Leading the National League in hits. Tying run at second, 2 down. Segura coming off a 3-hit game yesterday. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Tell you what, this is the 17th game in which Jean Segura has played this year. 9 of them are multi-hit games. Two and one. Reaches out and lifts it out to Polanco, who broke in, now drifts back and he runs it down. But the Diamondbacks keep coming back. They add 2 more. Wellington Castillo starts it off. His 4th home run. Corbin has the RBI double. It's a 5-4 ball game. Diamondbacks down 5-4. Hey fans, join us for D-backs social media night. It's next Friday, April 29th. For only $25, you get a discounted lower level ticket, access to a private pregame party. Games, prizes, D-backs power bank for charging your mobile device. Everything you need will be at that party. So get in there, get on board. Tickets and all the info. dbacks.com/dbackssocial. And we'll see you April 29th for social media night against the Rockies. You'll be there with all the, you're on everything.
Sure.
With the Snapchatting and the twisting and the Twitter and the vining and all that stuff. Whatever all that is.
Be sure and take notes for me just in case I'm there late.
You may just be a moment or two late.
Yeah.
So the Diamondbacks have out-hit the Pirates now 8-7, but trail at 5-4. Patrick Corbin, who's given up 3 home runs in this ball game, has settled in somewhat, coming off a 1-2-3-4th inning, and now Jordy Mercer leads off the Pirate 5th. Mercer has singled and homered. He's 2 for 2. And we'll see if Patrick can figure out some location mistakes and keep that 5 up there for the Pirates and let the Diamondbacks keep chipping away at Jonathan Nice as they've been doing. D-backs were down at one point 3-0 and 5-1, but now they're back within 5-4. This was Mercer who led off the third. Almost hit it on the concourse out there. Rodriguez and Polanco, the other Pirate homers, they went back-to-back in the second. Just inside, a ball and 2 strikes on Jordy Mercer, the shortstop. Played collegiately at Oklahoma State. He's a Cowboy.
If Patrick could just find the bottom of that strike zone, given the calls that we've seen from DJ Rayburn tonight. That ball down. Get the ground balls you're looking for. Get those low strike calls we've seen in this game. This has made some dreadful mistakes right in the middle of the strike zone.
When you see your ace pitcher, he's one of the aces certainly on the staff, Bob, and you're in the dugout and you see those location mistakes, the ball up. How big a red flag is that for you?
Well, we've seen Patrick Corbin at times go through a hitter or two, sometimes a full inning where he leaves a lot of pitches up around mid-thigh up to the belt. That's more like it.
Ahmed behind the bag. Well, that one 5 in a row set down by Corbin.
But the good news is Patrick usually figures it out. He either makes a mechanical adjustment or a mental adjustment, or Wellington Castillo gets down on one knee and gives a lower target. He usually figures it out and corrects it.
Well, it looks like he's on his way. 5 in a row set down. Here's Andrew McCutchen, and despite all this Pirate offense, McCutchen is 0 for 2. He has popped up and flied out.
We had a little fun with Hunter Pence in San Francisco in that 4-game series at AT&T, making fun of his rather skinny calves. Same cannot be said for Andrew McCutchen.
Well, he grew up a high school football player in Florida, Fort Meade, Florida. Shoots that one foul. Just missed it down the left field line. But McCutchen, one of the great hitters in this game, 5 straight seasons with at least 20 homers and 80 RBIs. And 4 straight years with an on-base percentage over 400. That's really remarkable to get that type of power production and be that consistent a base runner. Checks his swing. He wins. Clint Fagan rings him up. 3 strikeouts for Corbin. 2 down in the 5th.
Francisco Cervelli.
Down, drives that slider down and in. McCutchen just can't check his swing.
Cervelli 0 for 2. He is twice grounded out, once into a double play. You're talking about Hunter Pence. Cervelli has sort of a Hunter Pence base, Bob. Those feet wide apart.
We watched Hunter Pence in that series in San Francisco. His right foot was on the back line of the batter's box, and when he took his stride, his left foot was on the front line of the batter's box. He covered the whole thing.
Corbin in control, 0-2. Corbin back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. He set down 7 straight. Diamondbacks trail at 5-4.
Welcome back to Chase Field. D-backs within 1. Now the players called their first road trip a bonding experience, explaining that after a long spring here in Arizona, it was good to switch things up and rely on their teammates. Chip believes it was that us against them mentality that fueled that 7-3 record. He said the biggest difference he saw in the players, they were out there having fun. It's kind of like the chicken egg thing though. So Bob, I ask you, can a struggling team avoid pressing and have fun, or does winning make it fun?
Winning always makes it more fun. I mean, I don't know any ball club that has lost a game and yucks it up on their way back to the clubhouse. You know, there's a certain amount of respect you have for this game, and after a tough loss, you have to act like it.
Brandon Drury flies out to right center field to lead off the Diamondback 5th against John Neese.
I think there's something to be said for being relaxed, and that lends itself to playing looser and maybe doing the things you're capable of doing a little more consistently. But hey, if all it took was having fun, we'd have stand-up comedians on the 25-man roster.
Well, we have some characters from time to time, but here's Goldie 0 for 2. Who was the funniest guy you ever played with?
Oh man, there's a long list of them. The late Mike Flanagan was a very
great Orioles pitcher.
Yeah, very low key. I played with him with the Toronto Blue Jays, and he was just very dryly funny all the time. Dwayne Kuiper, of course, we just came from San Francisco, another guy that liked to have a good time. But there's just too many to list.
Oh, Kruko, he's still a comedian.
Yeah.
He could give you 20 minutes on a slow night at the comedy club if you needed him to.
Yeah, Ryan Dempster, I didn't play with him, but I was in Chicago when he was pitching for the Cubs, and he did do some stand-up at some of the clubs around Chicago.
Goldie had 3 balls and a strike. He walked him. First walk issued tonight by Jonathan Neese, and the Diamondbacks have a 1-out base runner for Yasmani Tollaz.
left field, Yasmani Tomas.
Tomas so far 0 for 2, coming off a big road trip. Chip Hale on the trip was talking about the development of Yasmani Tomas, and he said, look, we forget when you have a minor league kid that you call up, a prospect, that kid, that youngster, he's had about 1,000 at bats to figure out who he is. Rookie ball, A ball, double A, the whole thing. Tomas has not had that, and he's trying to figure out who he is at the big league level. And so he said, while the coaches are happy with the progress, they don't want to get too excited because he is far from a finished product. He is still in development. But we're certainly starting to see the signs as of late. There's a hard hit ball, and he dumps into left. Yasmani Tomas has now hit safely in 8 straight games. 2 on and 1 out for Wellington Castillo. And this is what Welly did to lead off the 4th in his last at bat. It's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning. Cool play of the game.
That's a home run swing right there. Get underneath that ball, an uppercut, catch it right out in front of home plate, drop to your back knee, and watch it fly.
Cervelli out to have a word with Nice. Goldie the runner at second, and Tomas at first, 1 out. Castillo 1 for 2 with a home run. Here's another home run swing. 0-1.
On that list of funny guys you asked me about a moment ago, I can't forget Luis Gonzalez. I mean,
Gonzo?
Yeah, Gonzo kept the team loose, always having a little fun, sometimes at the expense of one of his teammates, but all in good humor, good natured. Everybody got along well with it. But yeah, Gonzo liked to have a lot of fun.
What did he do that was fun?
Well, I mean,
well, you probably can't say.
A lot of them I can't,
yeah.
but I've told the story about Bob Melvin and the Clowns when Mel was managing the Seattle Mariners, and Mel had a terrible fear of clowns. I don't know what it's called, but he had it. And as soon as Gonzo heard that, he got on the phone and somehow in Tucson, a half hour before game time, found 3 clowns to come out to Tucson Electric Park and stand on top the Mariners dugout.
He booked every clown in town.
Send me all the clowns you've got.
Did they all show up in one very small car?
It helps to have a lot of money when you want to play tricks
yeah.
on your teammates and your friends, and
you can buy funny if you're clever enough. Now Gonzo just buys dinner. 1-2.
Come on.
Coulrophobia, fear of clowns.
I'll take your word for it. Two and two. Pitches for Nice, 52 strikes. Up the middle. How did he ever get that one? And they turn the double play. Jonathan Nice, the ball found him, and he converts a big double play to get out of a mess there. Right back to the mound. Nice somehow found that one in the glove, and it stays 5-4. at Chase Field. D-backs trail at 5-4. Lots of big home games coming up in May, fans. Get your tickets for Saturday, May 14th at Star Wars night. You can get a Star Wars soft style t-shirt courtesy of Cox Communications, and there is BB holding up the Star Wars t-shirt. May 16th through the 18th, Diamondbacks host the Yankees. Memorial Day weekend, we are giving away this. Now it's my turn. This is the D-backs mesh pool bag. There it is right there. That's a good looking pool bag.
Nice.
And you can hold a ton of stuff in here, Bob. This is a great item. So that's coming up. And also, now Michelle's going to model our D-backs apron. Nicely done. There it is. That's our barbecue apron. Be coming up on Memorial Day. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. So you got lots of reasons to come out here.
Yeah.
Some good giveaways coming up. Starling Marte leads off the Pittsburgh 6th inning against Patrick Corbin. Patrick had a rocky second, a bumpy third, but he has really settled in. He's retired the last 7 he's faced. He's ahead of Marte 0-1. And whatever was wrong, Bob, Patrick figured it out.
He's keeping the ball down a little bit better, and when he has elevated, he's gotten it up to a place where it's tough to catch up to.
Nick Ahmed backs up at shortstop.
Every hitter has their own happy zone, but usually you can go down below the happy zone and get some easy outs, or go up above the happy zone. And the last couple of innings, Patrick's stayed out of the middle.
Gave up 3 hits in the second, including 2 homers. 3 hits in the third, including a home run. But he has been nails ever since. Josh Harrison has been a problem, though. He has doubled. He's singled. He's got an RBI. He's scored a run. Is this up in the air? Deep center field. Chris Owens backing up at the track at the wall, and CO is there. Boy, has he done a nice job out there tonight.
First baseman Jason Rogers.
He's had a few opportunities right out there near the overhang, and every play he's made the right decision. Either stay with the ball or peel off. He looks like a veteran out there in center field.
Jason Rogers just called up from AAA Indianapolis before the ball game, and he is 0 for 2. His Pirate debut, the former Milwaukee Brewer. Rogers acquired by Pittsburgh last December in a trade with the Brewers. And that's in the seats. Hey, D-backs fans, we are excited to introduce 1893 from the makers of Pepsi. It's a premium cola inspired by the original Pepsi recipes and features premium cola extract and fair trade sugar. Pick one up at your local retailer today. 1893 from the makers of Pepsi. 2-2 on Jason Rogers. Patrick Corbin trying to nail down his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. And it's a full count, 3-2. He walked him. That ends a stretch of 9 straight retired by Corbin, his first base on balls tonight. And Patrick now at 90 pitches, 55 strikes.
Third baseman Sean Rodriguez.
Sean Rodriguez has homered and flied out, 1 for 2. A 2-run homer back in the second, his second this year. Some stirring in the Diamondback bullpen now. Jumps on the first one and knocks it in the seats, out of play.
Because Patrick has been able to settle in and get here into the top half of the 6th inning, it's a little more manageable down there in that bullpen now. We were looking at the possibility of a relief pitcher in the game in the 2nd inning, which would have really been a hardship for Chip Hale in that bullpen tonight. But now pitching here into the 6th inning, a little more manageable for those guys down in the pen.
Yeah, your long man Tyler Wagner, the rookie right-hander, went 5 innings yesterday in San Francisco, so he's down tonight. That's a strike, says DJ Rayburn, and it's 0-2. Rodriguez doesn't look like he's buying that call. check his swing. A ball and 2 strikes. No one throwing yet in the D-back bullpen. This guy's loosening up down there. Tyler Clippard. Boy, did he get some big outs on that road trip. He was terrific. That's going to get out of play.
Talk about bullpen usage once again. Unfortunately, the Diamondbacks lead the majors in innings pitched out of their bullpen in the early going this season, but the Pirates have had their own issues. They're 3rd in Major League Baseball in innings pitched by the relievers.
Well, Corbin's spot is due up 4th in the bottom of the 6th. But then again, he's 2 for 2. He's got a single and a double and an RBI. So, but the pitch count is the concern right here. By Patrick, rolled to Ahmed, flips to Segura for the force on Rogers, and that's the inning. Bottom 6 on the way. Diamondbacks down 1.
Take a look back at history brought to you by Geico. John Smoltz became the 16th pitcher in big league history to get 3,000 career strikeouts, punching out Felipe Lopez with that split-fingered fastball.
We were in Atlanta for John Smoltz bobblehead day last year, and Smoltz was in our booth. They retired his number. It was a really nice ceremony at Turner Field. Imagine a guy that's good a closer and that good a starter. Not too many of those guys. Eckersley comes to mind. Smoltz. Peralta leads off the Arizona 6, down 5-4 against John Neese. Shoots that one the other way toward the left field corner. It's foul. Marte, the Gold Glover, couldn't quite get there.
It's hard to imagine how many strikeouts John Smoltz would have had as he stayed in the rotation. Became a closer, and obviously coming in 1 inning at a time. Even if he struck out the side, that's only 3 punch outs.
McCutchen in center.
.481 games as a starting pitcher, 242 as a reliever.
Dolly Feliz, the former Texas Ranger, starts throwing the Pirate bullpen. There's going to be some action in the D-back bullpen as well. Things will get busy down there. Nick Ahmed has grounded out and struck out 0 for 2. John Smoltz has taken a very active role in talking about overthrowing for young pitchers. He's really one of the guys who's at the forefront of the Tommy John concern. And in fact addressed that in his Hall of Fame speech at Cooperstown. Gotta watch out for these kids. Year-round travel ball is not a great idea. Arms can't take it. Foul ground first base side for Rogers. And he can't get there. Well, Ahmed lives to fight another day.
Ball in a similar location earlier in the ball game. Paul Goldschmidt was able to track it down and make the play, but first game for Jason Rogers here at Chase One Field. Somebody was helping him from that Pirates dugout. You're all right. You're all right.
Well, not so much. He had room, that's for sure. Tyler Clippard started throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Just reaches down and gets a piece of it, but is he okay?
Right back up, looked like it hit Nick in the nose. He's out there trying to protect the plate.
Underneath the brim of the helmet, maybe. Here's a good look. Oh, right in the face. Ken Crenshaw, the Diamondback trainer, is out there to have a look. Silvino Bracho, the rookie right-hander, has joined Tyler Clippard in the Diamondback bullpen. Bracho on the left, Clippard on the right. Anderson Ford bullpen. And Nick is okay. Bracho just back up from AAA Reno this week.
Looked like it got a piece of Nick's lip, or maybe it cut the inside of his mouth. A little bit of blood there in the left corner of his mouth.
He's from Massachusetts. He's fine.
No big deal.
He's a hockey player. Him up. It rolls into left center. Ahmed Zavor. He'll stop at first.
Well, that was a bullet. We've seen some hard hit balls in the game tonight. This might be the hardest one of all. It's too bad Nick didn't get it up a little bit. Just shot it right by Jordy Mercer. He didn't want anything to do with that ball. Fielding it off to the side right there, and it just bounces up over his glove into left for a base hit.
A single for Ahmed. A one-out base runner for Chris Owings, who tripled and scored his last time up. Now 10 hits for the Diamondbacks, 7 for the Pirates. Ball one. Patrick Corbin's spot is up next. Phil Gosselin in the on-deck circle. And Bracho continues to throw in the Diamondback bullpen. Now it's Tyler Clippard correctly.
It's the first pitch down there at the bottom of the kneecaps or lower that DJ Rayburn has not called tonight.
Well, at least he's consistent. Wait, what? Yeah.
Huh?
3-0 on Chris Owings with Gosselin on deck. Patrick Corbin's night will end here. Boy, he did a great job of settling in and really contained the damage after the Pirates got 3 in the second and 2 in the third, including 3 home runs. And did a good job at the plate. Patrick, a single, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. 3-1 on CO.
Well, that is a true mark of a future ace, too. Go out there on a night when you start out shaky, you don't have your best stuff, you don't have good command, but yet you grind away until you can find it, give your offense a chance to put you back in the ball game, and that's what Patrick did tonight.
And Owings draws a walk. He's aboard for the second time. D-backs have 2 on and 1 out for Gosselin, who will hit for Corbin. Nick Ahmed at second, Chris Owings. Very good speed at first. And here's Gosselin, who's at 304 with a homer. And as soon as he is announced, Clint Hurdle comes out. He's going to make a double switch, it appears. He'll talk it over with DJ Rayburn. And Harrison. No, Rogers, pardon me. Rogers is going to come out of the game at first base. So Neese's night is over. He leaves leading 5-4, but he's responsible for 2 base runners. Rodriguez is going to come out and David Freese will go in. So all kinds of changes for the Pirates. We'll sort it out when we come back. D-backs trail at 5-4. He's 2-0 in 3 starts this year. He's leading this one 5-4, but he's responsible for 2 base runners as he comes out of the game in the 6th inning. Sean Rodriguez will move from third to first base, replacing Jason Rogers. David Freese, the former Cardinal and Angel, takes over at third. And the new pitcher is the former Ranger, Neftali Feliz, who has allowed a hit in just 2 of his first 9 appearances this year. Phil Gosselin hitting for Patrick Corbin. 2 on, 1 out for the Diamondbacks. Down 1, and there's ball 1. Gosselin 304. He's homered. He started yesterday at San Francisco and went 0 for 4. That snapped a 5-game hitting streak. Nick Ahmed, the runner at second. Chris Owings at first. In there for a strike, 1-1. Fun times, the RamTrucks.com pool area out there. They got the big heads. Neftali Feliz, 27, he'll be 28 next month. Was a really good closer in Texas. 6 years ago he had 40 saves, 32 the following year. But he's had some injuries as of late. The Rangers, the Tigers, and now this year the Pirates. This with that one, it's 3 balls and a strike on Gosselin. Hitting for Corbin.
Well, Gosselin got his first home run as a Diamondback down in San Diego, that day game, Sunday day game. Put a charge on it to left center field.
Swing at the 3-1. Full count, 3-2. Segura on deck. Segura's already got 2 hits today.
That's where if you had a lead in the ball game, you might think about starting the runners on the 3-2 pitch. Gosselin has shown he's a really good contact hitter, rarely strikes out. But trailing by a run, you got to play it a little closer to the vest. No, you don't.
The runners take off. Gosselin strikes out, and Ahmed is in there. They both move up. Stolen base for Nick Ahmed, his first this year, and Owing snags his 4th.
I forgot Chip's not wearing a vest.
Second baseman.
Aggressive with the base runners right there. Why not? You got good speed in Chris Owings and Nick Ahmed. They both got good jumps. Cervelli tries to throw down to third to get the out there, but Nick in easily underneath the tag.
Well, the big at bat in the ball game right here as Gosselin strikes out for the 2nd out. Ahmed is the tying run at third. Owings the go-ahead run at second. 2 down for Jean Segura. Coors Light cold hard facts. Jean Segura leading the National League in hits coming into the ball game, and among players who have switched teams this year, he's been among the best. Daniel Murphy, the former Met, now in Washington. Mark Trumbo having a big year in Baltimore. John Jaso has an 11-game hitting streak going over on the Pirate bench. So here's Segura, 2 on, 2 out, down 1.
There's all kinds of hits in the house tonight. Jean Segura and Josh Harrison of the Pirates tied for the National League lead in multi-hit games.
Segura's got his 9th multi-hit game tonight. Harrison's got a double and a single. He's 2 for 3. The 0-1 misses inside, spins Jean around. It's a ball and a strike. Bracho and Clippard still throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. Reaches out and taps it back to the mound. Feliz snags it, and he comes in and gets a strikeout and a ground ball, and the Pirates are out of trouble. Diamondbacks cannot get the tying run across, and they trail it 5-4. Hey fans, the Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express is back up and running. It's brought to you by Cox Communications, and it's ready to take you to a Diamondback game. Stop by the Cox Solutions store in Phoenix on Bell Road, and there you can enter for a chance to win 2 seats on the bus to the D-backs game against the Rockies April 30th. Registration ends Monday. For all the information, visit foxsportsarizona.com. ball game here, and on for the Diamondback. It's the Bulldog right-hander. Give it up for Silvino Bracho, recalled from the minors on Tuesday, and he looked a little overwhelmed, BB, on opening day when he gave up that 3-run homer to Nolan Arenado. But he went down to Reno and pitched pretty well.
Yeah, good numbers down in Reno. I think you're right, maybe a little overwhelmed in that opening day appearance. Made a bad mistake, got hit out of the ballpark, but we saw him real good at the end of the season last year. Hopefully see him real good here tonight. And one last tip of the cap to Patrick Corbin. Through his first 3 innings, 1, 2, and 3, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits through 51 pitches. In innings 4, 5, and 6, no runs, no hits, only through 44.
Gregory Polanco, who homered back in the 2nd against Corbin, leads off the 7th against Silvino Bracho. It was great to see Patrick right the ship there, and at one point, after getting into trouble in the 2nd and 3rd, he retired 9 straight. Very uncharacteristic on opening day of what we'd seen from Silvino Bracho, certainly last year, when he became unglued a bit out there and was sent to the minor leagues the next day. But to Silvino's credit, he went down and pitched for Phil Nevin and did a very good job. He appeared in 4 games for the Aces, had 2 saves, gave up just 1 run in 4 innings of work, and here he is. They like this young man a lot. They love what they saw last year.
And certainly have to take that with a grain of salt because the league wasn't familiar with Silvino Bracho. He was new to all the opposing hitters, and boy, he was pitching with a lot of confidence in September last year.
Yeah, he looked really good his first look at the big leagues toward the end of last season. Just over 12 innings with the D-backs, had 17 strikeouts against only 4 walks, and put up a 1.43 ERA in his first ever big league experience. Made his major league debut last August 30th, called up from AA Mobile, where he is closing games for Robbie Hammock. Finished the year, in fact, with an 8-game scoreless streak. 1-2 to Polanco. Fight knees off, stays a ball and 2 strikes. Good crowd here on a Friday night in downtown Phoenix. Nearly 28,000 on hand for the opener of this 10-game homestand. 1-2 on Polanco. Hard to first. Goldie snags it. He's on it. Bracho is there. Wow. America's first baseman. We have seen some defensive gems tonight. It was Segura early in the ball game, Bob, and now it's Goldie on that right-hand side.
Similar plays. The ball looked like it was past Goldie. He just dove out there and knocked it down perfectly. Feeds Bracho to the bag.
I'm not crazy about the way he got up, though. Oh, he didn't have it in the glove. He
just knocked it down with the heel of his glove and recovers in time to get the out at first base.
Got up a little awkwardly. Yeah, something's
the way he landed on his hand. Usually it's the left wrist for a right-handed thrower.
And Mike Butcher's going to go to the mound. We'll keep our eye on Goldie now. You can see him in the background there.
It's not uncommon for Goldie to take the glove off between pitches down there, but you clearly saw him looking at that left hand. The way he came down with the hand inside the glove, crawls over to the baseball and still gets the out at first base. You ask him right now, it's all right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
He'll say the same thing after the game, I'm sure. So Mike Butcher makes a visit. Here's David Freese, who checked in at third base. Hitting .283 on the year with 2 extra base hits, both doubles. There's a strike 0-1. The veteran third baseman. And for all of this winter, he did not have a home. He, of course, come up with the Cardinals and played a couple of years with the Angels when the Pirates finally signed him, barely over a month ago, in fact. Showed up at spring training in the middle of March.
With a very elaborate setup after he gets his sign from Wellington Castillo. I've been timing him up here with a stopwatch. It takes him 7.5 seconds from the time he starts his stretch position, comes into a set, and then delivers the ball.
He's doing that 2- and 3-step thing again, and then to the belt finally. Yeah, that's a long time. This is hammered to right center field, and it's in the pool.
Shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
Pass ball away. Freese stays right on it. He's always been a good hitter out over the plate where he can extend his arms, and drives this one into the gap in right center up into the RamTrucks.com pool area.
Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, has singled and homered. He's 2 for 3. Now Bracho has some work to do. He's got to strand that runner at second with 1 out. Keep it a 1-run ball game.
Good idea right there. First pitch breaking ball with the runner in scoring position. So many of these Pirates hitters have been running up from that on deck circle, hunting that first pitch fastball. Bracho just rolls a slider in there for a first pitch strike.
McCutchen on deck. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Dropped it in there. 1-2. Nice pitch by Bracho that time.
Good sequence there. A couple of breaking balls for strikes, and then bounce one in the dirt outside, hoping to get Jordy Mercer to chase.
2-2. Opener of a 3-game series against the Pirates. Ruby De La Rosa, Juan Nicasio tomorrow. Robbie Ray, Francisco Liriano Sunday. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Belt and pitch. Straight back, stays 2-2.
I don't know this for a fact. I'm just guessing. Usually when you have a guy that has so much going on as he goes from his signal position up into the set position, especially with the glove wiggle and the steps that he does, it probably was tipping pitches at some point. And in order to combat that, you just do the same thing every time, but it involves a lot of glove wiggles, a lot of time to get in the set position. He's digging in the glove there. He's going to step off now as Jordy Mercer steps out of the batter's box.
It's the 3 different steps with that front foot.
And throughout the entire thing, digging in his glove up there, digging in his glove some more, eventually comes set at the waist.
2-2. Oh, this is a battle. Bracho's ball game at this point. D-backs bullpen still quiet. And for that matter, no one throwing the Pirate bullpen either. DJ Rayburn out to break this up.
I like the fact that Nick Ahmed was involved with the meeting. You may remember on the road trip there was a situation, I believe, at Dodger Stadium where Wellington Castillo went to the mound, talked to a Diamondbacks pitcher, went back behind home plate and didn't even give a sign. Just went out there and verbally told the pitcher what he wanted him to throw, and unfortunately the middle infielders didn't know what was coming. So this time Nick got involved in the meeting just to make sure that they could possibly get a little bit of a lean before the pitch is even thrown.
And Mercer's wearing him out here.
Well, those middle infielders need to know what pitch is going to be thrown, so at least mentally they can be leaning in one direction or the other as that ball gets into the hitting zone.
Full count, 3-2. McCutchen will be next. Walked him. So Mercer in a long battle wins the war. 2 on 1 out for the Pirates, and here comes Andrew McCutchen.
Center field, Andrew McCutchen.
Our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms look at the Diamondback bullpen on the last road trip. A 1.88 ERA in 10 games, and they had to work a lot.
They really did. Average 4.3 innings per game. Kept the ERA under 2, struck out nearly a batter an inning. You love those numbers, but you have to cut it down a little bit. Get some more out of your starters.
Phone ringing down there for Garvin Alston, the bullpen coach. McCutchen 0 for 3. Base hit. They will Ray freeze. He will score. And it's 6-4 Pirates.
Cement mixer slider just hung up out there over the plate for Andrew McCutchen. Got out on his front foot but kept his hands back well. First noise we've heard from McCutchen in this game, and unfortunately it drives home a run, stretching the Pirates lead to 2.
Francisco Cervelli now. Randall Delgado throwing in the Diamondback bullpen now. Still 2 on and 1 out, a run in. Randall has been a workhorse back there in that bullpen. He's worked 10 innings already. That's among the league leaders for relief pitchers. Cervelli tonight 0 for 3. as DJ Rayburn back there. He doesn't need the appeal. And Cervelli is barking. He's a talker, this guy. He is not a quiet ball player. Kind of what made him a fan favorite in New York for a while. He's sort of got that New York attitude for a guy from Venezuela.
And he's got that reputation of being one of those guys. If he's on your team, you love him. If he's on the other team, you don't love him quite so much.
Just a skosh less.
Yeah.
The 0-1 from Silvino Bracho. Base hit. Rick Schofield going to wave Mercer home. Here's the throw from Tomas. It is cut off, and it's 7-4 Pirates. A double, a walk, and back-to-back RBI singles against Silvino Bracho.
Mistakes in the middle of the plate. Good hitting teamwork. Hit it hard somewhere, and unfortunately this time they found holes.
And here comes Chip Hale. So now 10 hits apiece, Pirates and Diamondbacks, but Pittsburgh has a 7-4 lead, and they still have 2 on and 1 out here in the 7th. Randall Delgado on his way in. We're back in a moment. If you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the D-backs wherever you go. And the Fox Sports Go app, BB, and I'm sure you're all over this, has worked really, really well. The ratings have been terrific on Fox Sports Arizona, but Tuesday and Wednesday, the game against the Giants had the season's 2 highest totals for Fox Sports Go unique streamers. So don't forget, you can stream the Diamondback games on the Fox Sports Go app. It's a terrific service. So here we go, your Arizona Federal Credit Union pitching change. The right-hander Randall Delgado, who's already thrown 10 innings of relief this year, on for the 9th time. And it'll work to Starling Marte with 2 on and 1 out and 2 runs in here in the Pirates 7th. Marte doubled and scored in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. So he has now hit safely in 7 straight games, and remarkably, he's doubled in 6 consecutive games. That's impressive. 6 games in a row with at least 1 double. That's hard to do. That's a Marte parte,
yes,
just about
indeed.
every night, as they say in at the Confluence,
yes,
down there in Pittsburgh,
where the rivers conflude.
Ah. I think I had the Conflu in San Diego.
I think you did.
Yeah, knocked me out. There's the strike. 1 and 2 now. Well, this guy Marte has been, for whatever odd reason, just a Diamondback killer. Coming into tonight, 19 games against the D-backs. He'd hit about 350. 4 homers, 13 driven in. McCutchen, the runner at second, and Cervelli at first. Bounces that one. Wellington Castillo keeps it in front, and it's 2-2.
I think that might have been a cross-up. You could tell by the way Wellington tried to catch that ball rather than drop down to his knees and block it.
Both middle infielders coming in as well.
Double check on the signs right here. Wellington is usually pretty good about getting in front of that ball, dropping down to his knees, covering that 5-hole with his glove. But this time, yeah, he's fooled by that pitch. Not only that, but it hits the front lip of home plate, misses his glove, and catches him in the midsection.
So now Segura, Ahmed, Castillo, and Delgado all together on this. Trying to get out of this 7th. This guy's a really exciting young player. A Gold Glove winner last year. Hit nearly 290, 19 home runs, stole 30 bases. He can really fly. All these Pirates outfielders, they all run really well. Marte and McCutchen, Polanco. Well, the Pirates came in here to Chase Field just about the same time last year, and they swept a 3-game series. So these guys have been a handful. D-backs only 1-5 versus Pittsburgh last year. Off the middle, Ahmed, Segura, they gotta hurry. Goldie has it, and they turn 2. So Randall Delgado comes in and puts out the fire, but the Pirates tack on. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs down 7-4. Half of the 7th inning at Chase Field. D-backs trail the Pirates 7-4. The opener of this 3-game series. What's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. And it's a 5:10 first pitch start tomorrow night here. Juan Nicasio, who's been a nice pickup for the Pittsburgh Pirates, is on the mound for the Buccos. And Ruby De La Rosa, who's been working out of the bullpen as of late, is back in there as a starter. 5:10 first pitch. Diamondback Live pregame show comes your way at 4:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. Home half of the seventh now. And out of the Pirate bullpen, everybody give it up for Mr. Tony Watson. The left-hander in there to face a whole bunch of right-hand hitters, and the first one is Brandon Drury. Mercer at short. What a play! Jordy Mercer at shortstop off the glove. He picked it up with a bare hand, and he threw out Drury.
First baseman, Paul.
Right off the heel of his glove into his bare hand, throws on the move just in time to get Drury down there first base. That is a really nice play. Sticking with it.
Well, I thought when he clanked it there for that one moment that Brandon was going to be aboard, but a great recovery by Jordy Mercer for the first out. And here's Goldie. He has flied out, struck out, and walked 0 for 2. Up and in, and let's not start that again with these guys. Pirates, as they often do, they are among the league leaders in defensive shifts, and they overload the left-hand side of the infield for Goldie against the left-hand thrower Watson, who's now ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Harrison, the second baseman, on the third base side of the bag. They move the infielders, Bob, but they don't move the outfielders.
Well, like you said, they've all got blazing speed out there. They can cover all kinds of ground. You don't have to shift as much with your outfielders when they're all Olympic sprinters.
It helps. There's Polanco out in right, McCutchen in center, and Marte, the Gold Glover, in left. Well off the line. 2-2 pitch. Mercer one more time.
Fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the many interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Yasmani Tomas, a single in the 5th, extended his hit streak to 8 games. Yasmani 1 for 3 tonight. Boy, he loves that first pitch. Do you see anything with Tomas consistently at bat to at bat? Because that's been the issue with the coaching staff. Sometimes he'll do what they tell him, and other times he won't.
Not really. I mean, we saw a stretch of it there on the road trip where he was swinging at good pitches and laying off the borderline pitches or the pitches that were way out of the strike zone. He wasn't even thinking about swinging at them. And I thought that was allowing him to build some confidence that he had good strike zone recognition. He didn't have to swing at every pitch. But then he'll have a night where he goes out there and just hacks at the first 3 things he sees.
He struck him out. Watson a 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th inning. Diamondbacks trail the Pirates 7-4. Summary, the home runs were flying earlier in this ball game. Sean Rodriguez and Gregory Polanco back-to-back homers in the second off Patrick Corbin. Then Jordy Mercer had another one in the third. Diamondbacks started answering with long balls of their own. Peralta in the second, Castillo in the fourth. They got back within one, but then the Pirates added two more in the seventh inning on RBI singles by McCutchen and Cervelli. And so it's 7-4 as we start the top of the eighth inning. 10 hits apiece. Pirates lead it by 3. Delgado got a double play ball to put out the fire in the seventh. And now he'll work to Josh Harrison, the pitcher Tony Watson, who's in the on deck circle, and then Sean Rodriguez. Harrison tonight has a double and a single. He has scored a run. He's got an RBI, 2 for 3. This one around deep center field. Chris Owens looking up, but that ball is off the wall. And Harrison has a stand-up double. Third double this year and the third hit tonight for Josh Harrison.
One of those cement mixer sliders that just stayed up around belt high out over the plate, and Harrison goes right with it. For a little guy, he's got surprising pop. It's just right near the base of the fence out there in deep right center field.
Well, he is red hot counting tonight. That's 11 hits in 6 games. He's at second to lead it off for the pitcher Tony Watson, who will take the at bat here. Brandon Drury will kitty corner himself at third. Goldie in at first. And Watson squares. Here comes Goldie. And that's a strike, 0-1.
If he bunts through another pitch like that, watch for Wellington Castillo to try to pick Harrison off second base. As a base runner in this situation, you try to get as big a jump as possible, and when the batter bunts through the ball, you almost always catch yourself leaning toward third base.
Oh, and 2. Watson with a 7-4 lead will take the at bat here. There is no one throwing the Pirate bullpen. He'll square around again on no balls and 2 strikes. And he gets the bunt down. Delgado has one play, and Harrison's in at third.
Nice recovery there by Watson to get down a perfect bunt on that left side. Delgado jumps on it quickly, but you could see Brandon Drury had come so far off the bag, he was yelling at Delgado and pointing at first base. No chance to get the lead runner at third right there.
Sean Rodriguez, who started the game at third base and has since moved over to first, and a long home run in the second off Patrick Corbin, a 2-run shot. His second homer this year. Infield in for the Diamondbacks with Harrison at third and 1 out. Just on the edge of the grass.
Pitches to try to crowd Rodriguez inside right there. Look for some weak contact, a little dribbler to one of your infielders. Away with a hanger there on a 2-0 count, but Rodriguez was definitely geared for fastball way out in front of that 82-mile-an-hour delivery.
There was a similar play here Earlier today at Yankee Stadium against the Rays, there was a left-hand pitcher on the mound for Tampa Bay, of course, Matt Moore, and Jacoby Ellsbury, who was at third, took off a straight steal of home, and he was in there. A little broken bat bleeder that drops in. Harrison had to hold up. He can jog on in now, and it's 8-4 Pirates.
Right fielder Gregory Polanco.
Brings up Gregory Polanco, the right fielder, who homered in the second. Diamondbacks in the home half of the eighth will have Castillo, Peralta, Ahmed 5, 6, and 7 against Tony Watson.
We try to crowd this guy as well. In better than away, up better than down.
High in the air, center field. Owings at the track. And Rodriguez will tag up, but that ball hit so deep to center field, right to the 407 mark out there. Can advance the extra base.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 4,000 supported devices. Actually, it's 400. That's a typo. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Well, yeah, they've just expanded to 4,000 devices. Well, you have 4,000 devices over there. You got your phone and your laptop and your tablet.
All I need now is some reading glasses. Well, you know, 4,000, I'd buy it.
Coming soon to a device near you.
That's right.
David Freese.
You can even get it on your toaster oven. Didn't say what kind of device.
Why haven't they invented that yet? Two and one.
About this Pirates ball club, you watch the way they're swinging the bats here tonight and you think, man, they're a bunch of free swinging hackers. But with the exception of Starling Marte, everybody in their lineup will take a walk.
They are leading the major leagues in on base percentage.
Yeah. So they're aggressive when you throw something in the strike zone that they can put a good swing on, but if you don't do it, they're willing to take the walk and set it up for the next guy.
2-2 on David Freese. They're always at the forefront of the analytics and the data and the whole thing. There was a great book written about that, actually, Big Data Baseball. They like the on-base percentage guys. They have always been among the leaders in defensive shifts. They were one of the first teams to really get into that and figure out, okay, we've got all this data. What do we do with it? Well, they figured out a way to make it work for them and turn it into wins on the field with a somewhat limited budget. And that's what that book is all about.
Yeah, I mentioned Marte. He coming into play tonight has struck out 14 times and only walked twice, but just about everybody else is either even or they've walked more than they've struck out.
They like reclamation projects too. David Freese is a good example. He kind of fell on some tough times in Anaheim, but here he is. Got a very good track record with pitchers like Liriano and Ocasio. Rodriguez will take third here as Castillo still can't find it. Wild pitch charge to Randall Delgado. saves a run, but the Pirates add one more. The Diamondbacks shortstop. Bottom 8 coming up. D-backs trail at 8-4.
As always, don't forget, coming up after the game, Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show. Todd Walsh and Brandon Webb. And Brandon, one of the topics has to be the night of Patrick Corbin, the good and the bad, but I think mostly how he recovered, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to look at how he started off and got in a little trouble in the second and third, but recovered to give his team a chance to win and got through 6 innings.
All right, we'll do that right after the game. We'll break it all down. Steve Boberson, right back to you.
All right, guys. Wellington Castillo hits a home run, his second tonight. And his 5th this year. Beef Wellington on the menu. And now for Castillo, 5 of his last 6 base hits have been home runs. So he is in full beef mode.
We saw him get into a stretch like this last year. Everything he hit is on the button with some lift. The only question about this one was fair or foul. Put it right down that third baseline. Ooh. That's what happens to middle of the plate fastballs, not just to Diamondbacks pitchers, to any pitcher.
Peralta, who homered back in the second off Jonathan Neese, the lefty. So it's an A5 ball game. D-backs third homer tonight. Castillo has 2. Peralta has the other one. And David smashes one into right center, and the freight train will take the turn. Here's the throw for McCutchen, and Peralta's in there.
Good read by David Peralta. You get outfielders moving laterally out there where they have to stop their momentum, try to turn and throw that ball back to the infield. David's going to take a chance right here. Trailing by 3 runs in the game, wanted to get himself into scoring position, and a good decision right there. And also, decision for D-backs fans to go grab your 3 beef tacos tomorrow.
Nick Ahmed now. The left-hander Tony Watson came on to start the 7th inning and made short work of the Diamondbacks. He got Drury, Goldie, and Tomas 1, 2, 3. But now Castillo, a home run. Peralta a double to lead off the inning. Ahmed back to the mound. Peralta stays put, 1 away. That'll bring up Chris Owings, who has tripled, scored a run, walked, and stolen a base. CO already with 4 stolen bases this year. Pirates bullpen will get busy again. Evan Marshall throwing in the Diamondback bullpen.
Ricky Weeks into the on-deck circle. He knew that if Tony Watson was in the game, Ricky Weeks was going to find a way to get it at bat. 5 for 11 lifetime with a homer against the Pirates lefty.
Pitcher spot is up next.
Those are the kind of things you look for as a manager. Do I have somebody off my bench that has really good numbers against one of their relief pitchers? And you just hope a situation arises where you can drop him in there as a pinch hitter against that guy before the opposing manager gets another reliever loose. Unfortunately, Clint Hurdle's had his righty up since this inning began.
Mark Melancon, the closer. Melancon has not given up a run in his last 6 appearances. 1-2 on Owings. That's out of play.
Steve Finley used to have crazy numbers against a reliever for the Dodgers at the time, Paul Quantrill, right-hander. And it gave Finns a day off one day, but I told him, you know, if Quantrill gets in the game, you're going to get an at-bat. And sure enough, they bring Paul Quantrill into the game, and Finn's got a big double to the gap in right center field. He just wore him out.
We just saw him, right? He's doing some TV, isn't he?
Yeah, in San Diego, doing some pre and post game work down there for the Padres.
Cervelli wants a word now. 2-2 on Owings. Melancon continues to throw in the Pirate bullpen. Potassium is very important, Nick. He's not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. 2-2 on CO.
Let's hope he disposes of that banana peel properly. We don't want anybody to get hurt over in that dugout.
Turns into a Bugs Bunny cartoon down there or something. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Peralta, the runner at second, a run in. Right to Freeze at third. So Weeks is announced. Melancon still warming up for Clint Hurdle. Ricky Weeks, you see the numbers against Tony Watson. And it looks like we're going to go here.
I guess Clint Hurdle's figuring even if he hits a home run, the Pirates still have a 1-run lead in the ball game.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All 1. Weeks 3 for 11 this year. A couple of doubles and RBIs. Had an RBI in the 9th inning in San Francisco yesterday. Two and 0.
I gave you the numbers for Weeks against Watson, and not only is Ricky Weeks aware of that, so is Tony Watson. Doesn't look like he's too anxious to throw the ball over the plate right here.
Well, what about the old theory? You got 2 outs in the inning. You don't want to bring the tying run to the plate. Do you have to throw Weeks something here if you're behind in the count like he is? 3-0.
Well, if you look a little farther into the on-deck circle, Gene Segura would be the next scheduled hitter. He's 0 for 10 lifetime against Tony Watson. Maybe that's why Tony's in the game to pitch to Ricky Weeks right here. Because it would seem like the easy thing to do is bring in your closer. You got a string of right-handed hitters here, but then you might get Jake Lamb to pinch hit for Ricky Weeks. And as hot as Jake Lamb has been, he might be the guy that Clint Hurdle wants to stay away from.
And Watson has not given Ricky Weeks Jr. anything to hit here. 3-0 pitch. Line to short. Mercer, it's off the glove. Matt Williams away. Peralta 8-6. Well, Mercer's been gobbling up everything down there all night long, but he clanked that one, and the Diamondbacks have the tying run at the plate.
Another hard hit ball by Ricky Weeks. This time Mercer just a step to his right. Flanks off the glove, rolls out into shallow left right there. That's going to be ruled an E6 all the way.
Clint Hurdle's going to bring in Melancon and replace his right fielder, as Polanco will come out of the game. And Matt Joyce is going to take over in right. And the closer, Mark Melancon, is on his way in. Diamondbacks in the 8th inning have the tying run at the plate and 2 outs back after this. D-backs have scored 2 in the inning. They have the tying run at the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and some changes for the Pirates. Matt Joyce takes over in right field, replacing Gregory Polanco, and the new pitcher for Pittsburgh is the closer Mark Melancon, the leader of the Shark Tank back there. One of the best closers in the big leagues.
Features a cut fastball. He will throw it often. Also has a curveball to go along with it as his secondary pitch.
Ricky Weeks Jr. is at second base. 2 outs for Segura, who is 2 for 4, a pair of singles. His 9th multi-hit game this year. He has never, as you said, got a hit off Mark Melancon.
He's due.
Sure is. Late time granted by DJ Rayburn, the plate umpire. And he's hearing it from the Pirate dugout.
We've seen a lot of very late timeout calls by hitters this year, and the umpire granting them.
It was a long set by Melancon. Too long for Gene Segura. So no pitch. Well, they tell Gene Segura, you see a strike, go get it. And he has been on the hunt all season long, leading the league in hits.
When he has had such a good opposite field approach since the first day of spring training, and that would figure to be the approach you use against Mark Melancon. That cut fastball working away from the right-handed hitters.
Gets the strike call, and it's 1-2.
That's the problem with thinking opposite field. Melancon has such good command of that cutter. He'll throw it on both sides of the plate. That one started way inside off the corner. And in the estimation of DJ Rayburn, that one got back to the corner.
So the cutter from the right-hander here would be moving away from Jean Segura, right?
Yeah.
Reaches down, and Rodriguez is on it. Melancon's there. See! And here comes Weeks. He scores! Jean Segura with a Superman slide into first, and it's a one-run ball game. And is Segura okay?
Hard head first slide that time into first base. He just knocked the wind out of himself.
That might have been, Bob, one of the better times. Here's Ryan DePanfilo to take a look, to do that head slide into first on maybe a play like that.
You know, sometimes when the pitcher's a little bit late getting over there to cover the bag, instead of going all the way to the base, they'll catch the throw from the infielder and try to turn around and tag the runner. I think that's what Segura was anticipating. Pretty nice stop by Sean Rodriguez right there. His feet is a little bit behind Melancon.
And Jean Segura is just fine. Watch him get that hand in there.
Yeah.
Wow. And Clint Fagan, the first base umpire, all over it. And in the meantime, Ricky Weeks Jr. is racing in from second. And now it's a one-run ball game. A single and an RBI for Segura, his third hit tonight. So that's back-to-back three-hit games for Jean. Here's Brandon Drury, who had an RBI single in the third. 8-7, 2 outs, bottom 8. Here we go. Boy, how about Jean Segura leading the National League in hits? That's his fourth game with at least 3 hits this year, the most in the major leagues. He is the tying run. Base hit. Here comes Goldie. 2 on, 2 out. Fun night at the ballpark, BB.
Wow.
A wild one here tonight.
Kind of surprised with how often the Pirates have thrown that Mark Melancon cutter inside the right-handed hitters. So much less margin for error. That ball may stray out over the middle of the plate. That's what happened right there to Brandon Drury.
Here is Goldie, 0 for 3, walked in the 5th. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at first, 2 outs. Bouncer to shortstop.
Oh, no!
Everybody hold up. The Diamondbacks may have the bases loaded here. The runner, Segura, was right in front of the shortstop, Jordy Mercer, so they got a high, loopy throw, and it sure looked like from up here that Goldie beat it out. Oh, not close.
Not even close.
D-backs are going to have the bases full here with 2 outs for Yasmani Tomas. And the headsets are going on.
You're right about Jean Segura. Rarely does that work where the base runner going from second to third delays to try to screen that shortstop, but it looked like it did affect Jordy Mercer. Ball kind of handcuffed him at shortstop. He got off that lollipop throw across the diamond, and of course Goldie busting it down that line, beat it easily.
Yeah, there was nothing on that throw from Mercer, who's got a very good arm, but he sort of had to give it half a beat there with Segura right in front of him as the ball was hit right to him. Watch the runner, Gene Segura. Great job there.
And that last big hop to Mercer, he couldn't get the handle on it and get as much on the throw as he wanted to.
Fans have seen the replay here on the DBTV board, and everybody agrees Goldie's safe, but let's see what they say in New York first. Another look.
Boy, watch Goldie hit the very front of the bag. Not that it made a big difference on this play, but that's what you love to see from your base runners. That's as quickly as you can get to the base.
Safe at first. The call is overturned. So it's a single for Goldie. Bases full, 2 outs, and the 9th man to bat here in the Arizona 8th inning is Yasmany Tomas. Now 15 hits for the Diamondbacks. Tomas is single in the 5th, 1 for 4. Segura is the tying run at 3rd. Drury the go-ahead run at 2nd. Goldie at 1st, 2 outs. Tomas and Melanson, 9th man to bat in the inning. Strike 1. Yasmany single in the 5th extended his hitting streak to 8 games. Three runs already in. Ball 1. Two balls and 1 strike. Castillo, who started off this inning with a home run, his 2nd of the night, is on deck. He would be next. Missed it. Oh, man.
That's too bad. That was going to be some serious action right there. That would have cleared the bases. Just foul down that first baseline.
2-2. What a wild ball game, man. 15 hits for the D-backs, 12 for the Pirates. 2-2, 2 outs. A bouncer in the hole, Freeze at 3rd. And the Diamondbacks leave them loaded, but they get 3. And we go to the 9th inning. It's a 1-run ball game. Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. A night of long balls here. The Diamondbacks down one, have stranded 14 base runners in a wild ball game, and on to start the ninth inning is the right-hander Evan Marshall. 3 appearances this season following his recall from AAA. He's given up just 1 hit. Jordy Mercer, who has singled, homered, and walked, leads off the Pirate ninth.
Well, certainly his return to the mound the first time this year was a big moment for Evan Marshall, but this might be his biggest outing so far this season. I don't think there's any doubt about it. You put a 0 up there right now, a quick 1-2-3 inning with the momentum the Diamondbacks had in that bottom half of the 8th. You kind of like your chances going into that 9th inning.
You've already had to make their closer Melanson work hard.
He threw 11 pitches yesterday, really laboring here today.
Yeah, Melanson gave up 3 straight singles, working some high leverage moments there, but Mercer bangs that one into center, and he's aboard for the 4th time tonight, a leadoff single. Our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery, Gene Segura, his 2nd consecutive 3-hit game, and this one was hit number 3.
One thing you can be guaranteed from a Diamondbacks player, they're going to run 90 feet as hard as they can no matter where the ball is hit. Segura with that little squirter to the right side outruns Melanson into the bag with a head first slide. You think back to Goldie's ground ball to Jordy Mercer, a lot of guys would have just jogged down the first base line. That's the 3rd out, but Goldie doesn't take anything for granted. None of these D-backs guys take anything for granted.
They have been coming back all night long. They were down 5-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. And they just put up a 3 spot in the home half of the 8th. McCutchen, an RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 4. A fly ball out to David Peralta. And that's the first out at the top of the 9th inning. Here's Francisco Cervelli.
Francisco Cervelli.
Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th against Melanson will have the same group that started off the home half of the 8th inning. Castillo, Peralta, Ahmed, 5, 6, and 7. Ball 1. Evan Marshall, 4 scoreless innings of relief to begin the year after he started the season with AAA Reno. Looked outstanding in spring training. Had a really good Cactus League season. Chip Hale thought maybe even better than he did during his superb rookie year 2 seasons ago. Two-0 is bounced to Nick Ahmed. Segura for 1. Goldie for 2. They roll it. And Evan Marshall gets you those quick 3 outs. So here we go. Bottom 9, Diamondbacks down 1. Wild ball game. Roof and panels open. It's a hitter's park. That's what they always tell us, and it certainly has been that tonight. 8-7 as we start the home half of the ninth. Castillo, Peralta, Ahmed 5, 6, and 7 against Pirates closer Mark Melancon. Well, he has already homered twice tonight. Home runs numbers 4 and 5 on the year. Not since Jason Kubel back in July of 2012 has the Diamondback had a 3-homer game. But for Castillo, 5 of his last 6 hits have been home runs. And he'll lead it off. He started off the 3-run 8th inning with a homer.
Belt high cutter over the middle of the plate that time. Throw that again.
It'll be beef Wellington for everybody in the ballpark. Fly ball, right center field. McCutchen has room. David Peralta. Peralta homered back in the second. Doubled and scored his last time up. He's 2 for 4. Nick Ahmed's spot is up next. Jake Lamb has come out in the on-deck circle after a sensational road trip. So here's Peralta with 1 out. Lamb on deck. Joyce runs it down. 2 outs.
A couple of well-struck balls to start this inning, but nothing to show for it. Well, he got under his just a little bit. David hit his right at the Pirates' right field.
Well, it was Monday night at AT&T Park in San Francisco when the Diamondbacks down 1 in the 9th inning, down to their final strike, in fact, when Jake Lamb took Santiago Casilla, the Giant closer, out to tie the ball game at 7. And we'll see if history can repeat itself. Jake with a 5-game hitting streak, .316, a pair of homers. He's knocked in 10. And Harrison, the second baseman, is out in short right field right now. And Rodriguez right on the line at first. Hard to imagine a more productive road trip than the one we just saw from Jake Lamb through LA, San Diego, and San Francisco. He played all 10 games. 9 of them starts and hit .343 with 8 extra base hits.
And even his outs were hit hard. He was just squaring up everything he saw.
Two and 1.
Well, that's the pitch that Melancon really wants left-handers to swing at. Looks good over the inside part of the plate, a little bit up in the zone, and then that cutting action takes it right in on your hands. Jake didn't even think about it.
Coming inside again here. Here's a tapper to Rodriguez. He's got it, and the Pirates win the ball game. 8-7. They snap the Diamondbacks' 5-game winning streak. Well, Bob, the number that is going to jump out, the left on base for the Diamondbacks. It got awfully crowded out there.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, the other side of the coin is, boy, did they have a lot of opportunities. Just couldn't seem to come up with that one big knock when they really needed it the most.